It has just gone past 8 o'clock in the morning. I've dropped the girls off at the bus stop. I've come home and I'm ready to go. Try and schedule clients in the morning to get it all done, so in the afternoon I can leave time to plan, to write my case notes, to do any sort of documentation and report writing that I can. And away we go. Let's do this. So first stop is I'm off to see a 3-year-old girl who is on the autism spectrum. And a lot of the work we do is floor time. It's floor play. It's getting on the floor, following her lead, following her interest, and doing the things that she loves, because this is how kids learn. They learn through play. And if they don't enjoy it, they're not going to learn. What I do now is I just have a bag and I just fill it with the things that I need for that individual session. So for this session, I've got the sand timer. I'm packing my feelings cards. I've got Twister. I have an alphabet puzzle. This is great. She absolutely loves puzzles. Bringing music, because at this age, 3 years old, they love music. They love dance and rhythm. So I bring this and I incorporate this into the session. Last thing that I'm packing is these rubber mats. This is my bag, and then I use a lot of the resources that are in the client's natural environment. So whatever that they have at home, whatever they have in their childcare setting, whatever they have in their school, I try and use the natural resources as much as possible, because this is what they have access to when I'm not there. And I don't want to bring in like this magical bag of tools and tricks that only I have access to, because that's not going to have any carry-on effect. I want the families, I want the teachers to feel empowered to support their children and support the students when I'm not there. Alrighty. Hello. So that was a fun session, lots and lots of fun. And sometimes I think to myself, I've got to make sure that I let the parents know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, because to them it could just look like rolling around on a ball, jumping from one bedroom to the other, rolling around on the floor. And I think, gosh, they must be looking at me thinking like, what am I doing with this therapist? What is she doing? I think it's so important to explain, to be able to clinically reason why we are doing what we're doing, why we're rolling on the floor, why we're wrapping them up as a burrito, why we're pushing the therapy ball over their back as a steamroller. Because to parents, it could just look like play. It could just look like, oh my gosh, what am I paying this therapist to do? What exactly is she doing? Why is she doing it? I could be doing this. So it's so important to reason with our clinical reasoning why we're doing what we're doing. And so I always explain to parents, this is what I'm doing and this is why we're doing it. Because remember, we spoke about this goal, and this is the goal that we're working towards. This is what you really want to see in your child, and this is what we want to help them to do. And so by doing this activity, by rolling the ball onto their back, we're helping their body to regulate. In doing so, we just calm the entire body so that they are ready to learn. They're in a state of readiness to learn and engage in those meaningful occupations afterwards. I work with kids from 2 years up until around 18 years of age. So I've never worked with babies. That is not an area that I've ever delved into. And I think that's really important to know the scope that you're willing to work within. If you're a private practice mobile occupational therapist, what is within your competency range and what you feel confident in delivering, and sticking to that, because you will get phone calls saying, the other day I had one for a 9-month-old, and this isn't an area I have ever worked in before. So I refer on. So if I can, and I'm near a beach, that's where I like to head. Plant my feet in the sand. Look at this. This is the office. This is it. That's the beauty of being a mobile therapist, is that literally you can go anywhere. Anywhere is not out of bounds. anything that the child is having challenges in their everyday life is where we step in as occupational therapists to help it to flow better so that they can engage, so that they can participate in those meaningful occupations again. So this could look like working with a child who needs support toileting. So the steps and the processes of toileting, or reducing anxiety around toileting. This could look like supporting transition to school or transition to childcare centre. This could look like, I'm trying to think of some of the clients that I have, play and expanding the way that they play so that they can form social connections with other kids. They want to, but they don't know how to. And we can step in and be that bridge. Handwriting. With handwriting, I make everything functional and occupation based. So it could be writing a letter to a friend, or having a pen pal that you write to, or writing the shopping list, or writing a list to Santa. So everything that they're doing doesn't seem like a boring step-by-step task that has no meaning, no relevance to their life. Once it has meaning, once they understand why they're doing what they're doing, they're more willing to engage, and this is where the learning happens. This is where the learning happens. So make it something fun, make it something interesting, and make it something relevant. So what I tend to do in between appointments is write my case notes. I bring my laptop with me in the car, and I'll just sit here, pull over on the side of the road, wherever I am, and just type up my case notes. So I try and keep on top of it. I've had a shorter day today than usual. I've only seen 3 clients. In my working days where I'm seeing clients, I like to see around 6 clients a day. This fits in from the time that I drop my kids off at the bus stop, and from the time I pick them up again, I can do 6 hours of client work. But today only 3, so I'm coming home, I've got a report to write, and I also have some work on my business. So when you're a mobile therapist, you have to take into account travel time, how long it's going to take to get you from client A to client B to client C, and all the rounds and back home again. So I am very particular, and I try and schedule them in a way that works and that flows. So I was just reflecting on it then after I've just come back from the appointments. One of the greatest tools that we use isn't in our boot. It's not in our car. It's in us. It's us. We are the therapy tool. We are our greatest therapy tool that we have in our toolbox. Our ability to listen, our ability to reserve judgment, our ability to hold a safe space for the client. These are all skills that we have as occupational therapists, and I think sometimes we forget about them. Sometimes we undervalue what we bring to the table because it's invisible. Just let my dog in. It's an invisible skill. It's an invisible tool that we have in our toolbox. And so people can't see it. It's not tangible, but it's something that is innate. So one of the benefits of working from home and being a mobile therapist is that I can also sit outside and do my report writing, which is what I'm doing now. So it's nearly 2:30, which means it's nearly time to pick the girls up from the bus stop in about half an hour. So I just tend to end my day by sitting outside, doing some report writing, finishing off any documentation and any sort of emails, those kind of online tasks. That's it. That's a day in the life of a pediatric mobile occupational therapy business owner. Woo! Now time to pick the girls up from the bus stop. Here we go.